Hello everybody, welcome back. This is Space Engineers No Jetpack Survival. We're continuing our big ship today. I'm PsyPrime, but you already know that because you're on my channel. And yeah, last time we did a little bit of a flight test. Not really a flight test, more of a takeoff and landing test, just to make sure all these gears and everything work. Got a little bit of cleanup to do around that. Because around the back end some glitchiness happened, and we had that usual sort of piston landing gear bug where it tried to intersect with the ground, so we've got to tidy that mess up. And then what we need to do is sort of, well, I do have an idea for a locking mechanism for these, because that solves the problem, because the front gear didn't do that. The front gear had no problem there. The locking mechanism made that grid part of the main grid, so it didn't sort of get all weird. So we're going to do that with these. I'm also going to put a couple of more hydrogen tanks on here because the fuel use last time, I think we can get out with what we've got, but I need some spare. So we're going to put a couple more fuel tanks on here to make that 8. And that should be plenty. If with an efficient takeoff and efficient landings, we should be fine. This is also going to be ion driven, so we're not going to rely 100% on hydrogen all the time. So yeah, I'm going to do a bit of cleanup on this, and then I'll come back to you after the intro. Okay, I'm back, and I've done a little bit of work. As you can tell here, these blocks are welded. But not only that, I got a bit carried away with my cleanup. So I've put little passageways here to say, like, well, these little floor blocks to say where certain things are. We may do a bit more work on signposting around here as well, but yeah, generally I've done all of this in floor blocks, mostly using the really large ones, but I've also marked out around where the thrusters are going to go, so I've already cut the holes out, saved the thrusters from doing it for me. We had to do some paneling on the inside of these. Let's open my visor. Had to do a bit of paneling on the inside of these because you do get some weird sort of like markings from the other sides of these blocks. I've used passages rather than decals for these. I might change them out, it's possible, but I think these passages with the really big red, like thick markings are a little more obvious, a little bit nicer looking for big thruster things. I may even put railings around these at some point. It's going to be a bit of a problem for some areas though, so I'm still debating the railings thing, because like these gear are going to sort of squash a railing straight away. But this just makes it a little harder for me to fall down holes, because there aren't any now, apart from the ones I've already left on purpose. So this is where we are with that. Right, what was I going to work on? We were going to do the locking mechanism for these. So I had a couple of ideas. I don't want to disconnect this, so I can't just take that off. But what I can do here is do another girder block. So something like that, and then basically I can bring this up and over and actually lock it somewhere further over here, out the way of the gear and the thrusters and everything. So in this space here, maybe bring it up and out that way. So let's get up so I can actually place blocks, and then I'll have to move this scaffolding to actually be we might as well do the scaffolding now actually. Freeze. I'm going to get freezes every now and again because I've got autosave on, because this stuff gets complicated and I really don't want to be repeating myself. So autosave is on. Forgive the stutters. There will be slight, and they will be often, every 5 minutes. So we're just going to come up a little bit. We'll just do that. That's fine. So we're going up like that. The hull kind of, well, we can use this bit between these thrusters. What I might do is bridge these together actually with some armored conveyor blocks, which I can then attach to. So if we get those in first, straight ones. Must have been a spider. I've also enabled, or should I say re-enabled, the modular encounter systems. So Assert should be back fully working again. I'm hoping so anyway. There's been an update to the mod sometime in November to correct some problems that fieldwork was causing, so hopefully that should be all good now. Right, wherever I put this I need to make sure it can go up and down, so I'm going to have to build this out slightly. I'm not putting permanent scaffolding around this until the hull's finished and we have scaffolding for access, like maintenance access. So we'll do that. I'll weld them if I can. Right, I've got to remember there's 2 blocks behind that and it needs to be welded still. So that's alright. These 2 blocks need welding, but I think... Do I have the materials to do it now? Yes. That one, no. But maybe I can get that from downstairs. If I jump onto there. Yeah. Ow. Didn't actually hurt, but it sounded bad. Okay. So that's where we are there. Now we need to definitely go up another 2. 1 to clear that. 1 more to allow room. No, 3 actually. This has to go 3 higher. We may need to start building from that side at some point. So I've got 2 blocks there as well, which I need to weld up. I'll have to remember them while I'm doing this. So back to the girders. 4, 4. I'm just going to put another... Let's get this right. Another one of them. I can't put the next one on from here. I would have to get even higher. I could probably do that from over there. Let's get up onto the ship and actually see if I can reach these bits from there. Right, that's where it's all going. These are those blocks I want to weld up. Can I get to them? I don't think I put them on the other side though. So we should probably fill those in. I mean, not everything's going to be symmetrical, but I do want the majority of this build to have some symmetricality to it. Can I pull the resources from there? Great. And now I need to just actually get down there, so I'm just going to jump off. And these 2 need welding. I don't have the materials on me right now for dealing with that, but we definitely need to put another one of these on here. And then the next one up. Hopefully there's enough room for clearance on that. Let's bring this scaffolding around a little bit. Just so I've got a bit more access. Let's put a slope there. Bring that higher. I think I want a half block in there. Just so it doesn't try to interfere with the rest of the ship. Now I can just check clearance. We're at risk of touching that. But if we slope this in this way now, because that's where we need to go, then we should be okay. I need to get higher again, though. So I'm just going to put another slope on here, temporarily. There. So this needs to slope out that way. So 4, 4. Let's find one that does that. Does the... No, you see, that's not... Let's think. How much higher are we than the thing? So if I put a merge block in here... Then the next merge block needs to be at that level there. So that's kind of... This is the perfect place to put the... Yeah, the taper off. But the beam's kind of the wrong way round, if you know what I mean, to sort of work perfectly with the part I want. But it's like the beam's all facing that way. And I can't really turn it round. Oh, an end piece would be perfect, actually. Yes. That does it. I just want it to look right. I'm a bit fussy, but I want it to look right. Let's go with something a bit more substantial. Yeah, a nice curved one. There we go. Right. Bear in mind I have to replicate this on the other side. So that should sort of come up there. I mean, it is going to raise. So hopefully it slides past that without causing any major clang issues. That curve should help it. So let's see. That should be fine. We could have put it in there actually. We could have moved it in one block. But then it starts looking very untidy. Let's bring this way over here now. It's going to have to be another end piece, I think. End, that's it. So the end's on that side, but the beam goes that way. Right. Okay, and then... yeah, that's definitely not enough room, but it would be if I just stick them the... how close is that? Small concerns, maybe. I don't know if that's going to pass there properly, but we'll try the merge block on there. Actually, no, if I put the merge block in there, is it going to try and connect to that? Ugh. I mean, it's not super end of the world if it doesn't work, but I do at least sort of want this to function. Trouble is, a test of this, it's going to be a small nightmare. Okay, I don't know if I've got enough room to put another one in, so we're going to have to try it. Yes, I do. That's fine. How's the alignment? Close enough. That's pretty good. That would actually lock into place, so... it might cause a bit of clang at the bottom though when it does. So we're going to have to just pray a little bit. Oh, storm. And I hope that can sort of slide past this quite neatly, because it doesn't look like there's a lot of like actual overlap there, so it should be alright. Now these two need welding up, so I might have enough materials on me now to sort of grab some. Can just walk around that. It's nice. Let's put some back actually, and then get the bits I need for those. Can't fill that block in. We can pave over the top of it. Okay. Two of these now. Okay. We're really nearly at the point where we need to start doing some major sort of hull work. But before we get that far, I want to do some like little details and stuff. Right, they're not going to connect immediately because we are anchored to the floor there. But hopefully they will eventually. So when that locks in, that will basically anchor this gear to the grid. I don't think I need to do anything with the piston because the piston will have stopped by that point. Hopefully it's not under any stress. Should be fine. So they'll lock together. Now I need to name these. So this is the port gear, port rear gear. So LG lock, port rear PR. And this is number 2 because it's the bottom one. No, is 1 the bottom one? 1's the one we're operating on, so I think that should be alright. And this will be LG lock PR 2. So number 2, number 1. I think that's the way I did it with the others. Okay. That's fine. So these really should get a connection. I kind of need to figure out how I'm going to test that. Maybe if we turn off those landing gear feet, they'll just click into place. That was a slightly dodgy jump. Okay, let's try turning switch locking these. Did they lock? Yes, they locked. Now we can switch lock again. So that works. The gear's now looking a bit more beefy. There's a bit more to it. Now, it's also a little lopsided now, so there's nothing going on that side. Oh. Hit by debris. Let's get inside. It's dangerous out here. Oh, wait a minute. I need to test this thing now. Elevate, deploy. Cool. It's working great. I'm hoping this storm stops soon because I actually do want to do some like upper deck work to get some more rooms into this thing. So I've got one side of the gear done. I will do the other side to match sort of in my own time. I'm not going to make you watch that. So the other side will just be done when you next see it. So that will basically be going into there. So all I need to remember, let's get some of the bits I do remember and I can just do straight from here, at least in place. So those two went into, I need more steel plates already. Ooh, there's an access point over here. More junk in my inventory. Okay, so it's those two, and then to the side of that we had a couple of slope blocks. I'm just being struck by more debris. Okay, but at least here I'm close to where I can actually get like medical assistance if I need it. So on the other side there's going to be a couple of slopes. I don't want to just jump down there. I'm not going to risk that. Here, well, see, that's the moving part. This is the stationary part. So here, kind of want to weigh into that. So I think, let's see, moving part, no, moving part, stationary part. So we can come down to there with a, I'm gonna have to get inside. This is getting pretty bad. Oh, there's no door on this. I need to put a door on the toilet, don't I? Right, now we're inside. There won't be much O2 in here though, but I've got my visor shut, so we're okay. It's not really the best place to sort of sit and wait, really, is it? And I can't actually see what's going on with the whole thing. Does this get me energy? Probably does. Oh yeah, I'm at 100% now. Gets me energy. I'm going to do something that's really, really uncouth. Oh, it won't let you eat on the toilet. Huh. Weather's gone away. Good. This is perfect. Right, so yeah, we'll be doing all of that on this side as well. Eventually. I'm not going to do it right now because we're a little bit into this already. So now then, let's get to the upper deck. Is it right? Should we have a way from the upper deck to the lower deck here? I don't know. I'm not sure. It's probably going to be beneficial to have something there. And we've got all that space in there that we could potentially utilise for something. Yeah, maybe. We'll get to it. But right now, I need to get up there and start actually flashing out the interior of this ship a bit more so we know how sort of big the hole should be around the top of it. I need to put some O2 gens in here as well. Oh, I was going to put some fuel tanks in as well. We need to do that from up here anyway. Right, so I'm going to have to jump down here. I'm going to have to stick a couple more fuel tanks on. I've got space for them. Can pop them onto these actually. They're not going to auto weld though. Oh, well, maybe. No, they won't. Because the tip of these things is way out there, and these tanks would only come onto this piece of the space here. Also, these fuel tanks at the back here, they're going to make it kind of difficult to airtight this space off. These two tanks. These ones are all fine. These two tanks are a bit of a problem. Mostly because these are not, like, sealable off. We were going to rely on having a floor layer across here, and we're going to get to this pit here and then we can't do it anymore. So we'd have to probably wall out this bit, one of these bits here somewhere, and have all of this area just sort of one big open space, sort of bordered by the outer hull. So we would have to create a wall here somewhere, like maybe here, I don't know. Somewhere that's less passable. Not certain. Or do we raise these tanks up one block? It is going to mess a bit with like these welders though. Oh no, it won't break the tanks. Do we raise it up one? I think we do. I need to turn the welders off. Otherwise it's just going to keep trying to repair them. Right. That's a terrible sound.
Inventory full.
Right, so now what I need to do is I need to put a... Actually, these are going to be a problem as well. These blocks here might be a problem. These tanks are not connected by anything other than that, but those blocks there, I cannot sort of pass anything by them. We can replace them a little later when these tanks are no longer just sort of floating there. So I'm going to put on here, because it was either this or I have to replace all this piping. All of this piping with something a bit more like conspicuous. Okay, let's go straight. So yeah, we'll do it that way. One of them. I do need to weld these up myself, so okay. And now what I can do, oh, that changes this bit as well. If I'm putting one on there, I need to bring that up one. Right, so here is where I need to come out with that. I have to also keep my eye open for any flying baddies now, because that's a very real possibility now that the asserts turned back on and the modular encounter system is now supposedly working. Yeah, I think this should be okay with just being a C-shaped, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to actually put a full conveyor on there because I might at some point decide I want to put something on top, so that's an option. Didn't see that. I could have used that before. Right, and then that can come out with a normal pipey pipe. Yeah, no, two. There we are. That way. There you go. Right. I need steel plates for the next couple of bits, so I need to put a large hydrogen tank right onto there. So 2 tanks. Industrial, not that kind. As much as it would look cool, it's going to have to be one of them. I'm going to turn it that way just because it's visually... it's the same size and shape, but it's visually less tall. It looks a little less annoying. Now, we've relied on having 2 spaces in between these. I'm not sure about that now. That should weld up that. That should weld up that. Because we need more, so we're going to have to do back to back them. And do... Oh, and then it's not going to connect to that. That's a bit annoying. Yeah, we needed 2 pipes in between these, so I'm gonna do the normal pipes for these ones because it's not a problem. Not at this point. Interior plates needed. Okay, and then I can put the next big hydrogen tank on. Yeah, that lines up all right. Those 2 will weld themselves up now, so I can just turn these back on. It's not going to weld them up. That's a little bit annoying, actually. They're not necessary, but... So I don't think I need the welders covering them. It does mean I have to weld them up. And they are kind of difficult to get to. I think it's something we might have to get to when... actually, can I jump onto these? Oh, yeah. Okay. Come on. There we go. Good, right. Okay, so they're sorted. That's connected to that. Good. Whoa. Don't fall off. Right, so we've got room for another one here. I mean, we did leave loads of room for all of this, so... Freezing. Do I put that there, or do I do 2 spaces and then put another one on there? I don't know. Maybe not. If I do that, then I can probably actually get another one in there and have that one not connect to this at all either. So we put 1 space between each one. That will line everything up perfectly. And that space should actually be a welder. Just because I haven't got any room to put a welder in anywhere else, really. Does that have all of the things in it? The new grinders and new welders. Oh, new welders. They're kind of cool. But I might save them for more visually available things. I do quite like these for this particular purpose. Yeah, we'll go with that. Right. So tank goes on after that. Yes. Doesn't line up with air yet anyway, but I can make it do that. Then that doesn't line up either, but I can put the next welder on there. Then go to the tank, and that lines up perfectly here. But I'm not going to put something on that just yet, because I need to weld up the 2 welders. I'm not sure they're actually going to weld the tanks that they're attached to. Oh, it works. That's okay. Right, I've got to be careful coming past there now, but okay. It's getting foggy. Gonna have to keep an eye on the weather just in case it becomes an issue. Right, here I can definitely pipe that straight in, and it's got to be with a solid block, so 6, there we go. We'll just make it a reinforced conveyor tube straight out. covered the one thing I wanted access to. There we go. Right, so that covers that. This is misaligned. I think I should turn these off. I should name them actually. Hydro welder. So I know what it is. We were going to consolidate all the naming later. I can't be bothered looking everything up right this minute. Okay. These need to come out for now because I don't need them right now and I don't want to think they're part of the build. Okay. How do I line these up now?
Meteor storm inbound.
I don't know if we do. I'm not sure we do. Could possibly just ignore that. Oh, that was pretty close to the ship, that. Wow, okay. Yeah, I could possibly ignore that because I don't know if there's much benefit to connecting it to this. Not here. I could connect it to there. It could get a little bit messy though. They're piped in line. Yeah. Okay, take you out. We'll take you out. We'll pipe across there instead. With something a bit more aesthetic. Don't need any fancy junctions or anything. Yes. Okay, that's fine. The bit across there I'm not sure what to do with yet, but we can deal with that later from downstairs. So we can ignore all that. Disconnects to here. So that's 2 more fuel tanks in. Solves that problem there. I'm going to just temporarily put a little ramp on here. I'm not going to shoot the whole thing. So I can get back up to here now. Okay. Right, so we have our medical room. I think we should just at least close this off before we're done. So we're going to need a corridor block in the space behind the medical room. There's a one there, and we're already converted to square. So that could just be one of them. Which is good. Corridor of light, for sure. Because we're approaching a doorway here. I need a door, but I think first I need a corridor that's going to go into a doorway. Probably going to have to be a T-shape? No, X section. Going to have to be an X section. We want a door there and we want a door here. So this side I think is kind of high security, so we'll put that kind of door on. This side should be more open. I think we do something like that, but the other way. Good, I needed. Cargo, cargo, cargo. Can't pull cargo from medical rooms. There we are. Right. Okay, so that door's there like that. I know it's like a half door, but it's fine. That door should be a sort of a full door. Maybe not actually. But we're the same kind of doors. Or do we do like just have them like normal? No. I'm going to save these kinds of doors for mid-room partitions. So when we've got a larger room that we just want to partition off with a bit of glass, we'll save it for them. So it's just going to be offset doors. Okay. Number 1. Number 1. I wish I could change the number on the door. You know, so we could have 1, 2, 3, 4, blah, 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 so and so forth. Make it kind of easy to see where you are. Okay, let's do these 2 corridor blocks. I'm not sure we got the right things on the bar there, so I'm gonna put you and you on the thing. Good. Right, so that's the first little bit of corridor started. So it's good. This is how we're going to get around. So we're coming through here into square corridors, doorway into that section, which could probably open up to more computery stuff. Into the medical section, which will have more stuff. So we kind of need to decide what sort of space we're going to allocate to medical. Here we've got room for ventilation. So some of these spots here are going to be ventilations. Corridor can just go straight. So we definitely don't want... Let's put bits we know we definitely need. I think we'll have a window block to the medical room. Corridor window side. Yes, I quite like that. I need interior plates to build it. We need a cargo room in here as well, so like an access point, but in form of a room. Don't freeze on me now, please. 2, 3, right, so definitely no doors in this bit. I definitely don't want a door next to a vent, so here we're going to have another vent. 2 vents. We're doing floor vents. It's a bit weird, but it's just what we're going to do. It's just a bit more compact. Which way did we do that one? Where's the indicator? That way. Steel plate needed. What have I got full of? Great. And also where these are, we know we can sort of port something next to it quite easily, and we could bring something under a corridor quite easily. Alright, 2, 3, let's get those done. Now, it doesn't look like a lot of space yet. You gotta bear in mind that this floor is gonna go way back to that, to like where that hydrogen tank is. This isn't too far to run for materials, to be honest. I'm patient. Right. So, windows on that side to denote where the medical room is. So, and that side's kind of confidential because it's going to be computery stuff. So, terminals and things. In fact, we might as well get a couple of programmable blocks in here while we're already on it. So, I'm going with that one because it's got both types on it. Do we go with the old-fashioned programmable block? So it's a bit clunky and chunky. I think these are probably better when it comes to sort of working out how to navigate around these spots. Got another vent there, which is good for cargo, so we might use that. I feel like if I do, I'm gonna need cargo, so I'm gonna put an access point here. Cargo terminal would feel better, I think. Or maybe it should be where the wall is. I mean, there's a corridor on that side. That is a corridor, actually. I can't just take that out. That's a corridor as well, I think. Corridor. I can't take any of those out, so whatever I'm doing it here anyway. Okay. Why not? And this will solve my cargo problem for this part. Okay, we're just going to have them sporadically around in sort of corners. I can always put things on top of them and still be able to access them if we really want to go that way. If we're stuck for anything. Where did I put my PB? There it is. 2. Right, so we do that or we do that. I mean, that kind of fits what's going on there a bit better. If we do that, I can't really... It doesn't really let me put any more in. Although what it would let me do is something along the lines of that. So we can get 3 in and still be able to see all of them. Whereas if we did 1, 2, and then as soon as I put that one in there, it blocks that one. So it allows me to do that, and it sort of helps separate this off. Okay, so we've got 3 programmable blocks to help control the ship. One of them is definitely going to have to be for automatic doors. So do we do that? I think we could probably do that now. So edit, browse scripts. Let's see what door scripts we've got. Simple doors, whips auto door, and airlock script. I think that's probably... Is that the one I used? What's this one? Closes doors on your grids automatically, also manages simple airlocks for you. Airlocks are found automatically based on a distance of 2 doors. That's a question actually. Main features, close every door on the grid. I have used them both before. I'm just trying to think of whether airlocks on this ship are going to be all traditional. They're not, so I'm going to have to use the whips one, because then basically we just have to pair up our airlock doors. So airlocks, here we are. Naming of airlocks. Interior doors should be named like so. Prefix, whatever the prefix is, airlock interior, and then prefix airlock exterior. That's all we need to do. Okay, I can get to all these afterwards, and we'll configure it properly later. But for now, it will just shut doors behind me. So, okay, copy to editor, check code, completion successful. Okay, and we need to then give the the content's already got graphics. That's lovely. And that's just shut all my doors for me. Nice. Okay, so every door on this grid is now closed. Should be at least, anyway. Good. Do we need... Actually, that has me thinking, do we need a door here? I mean, we can get into this bit here. We definitely need a door here. Corridor here, I don't think it needs a door. Yeah, we don't really want to be putting, like, doors everywhere. It's just going to make it hard to get around the ship properly. Right, so we've got space for this. We'll properly decorate everything like before we're completely done, but I just want to get an idea of what's going where and give enough space for everything. Right, and because we're using corridors to denote like the way around everything, we don't really need to worry about putting walls in places, so we're not wasting spaces. The walls are in the bit you're walking in, which maximizes the room we've got inside everything. We're going wider as well, so there is potential for another room on the sides of these before we get to these bits, or it's just going to be a passageway down straight into the nacelle area. Now we're going to have to convert that into 2 more rooms, so let's go back to airlock. 8, not airlock. Why am I on that colour? That's weird. I think here we just need to go straight into a T actually. No, an X actually, because we're going to go forward as well. Materials, okay. Yeah. Right, one of them. That should just be a straight... whatever rooms go in there, we're going to have windows, I've decided. And here. Yeah. Okay. Then we need a doorway into that side. I don't really want to go too far before the door. Do we put it there? Do we put it there? Do another window and then a doorway. So we'll do this the same on both sides, just to make sure that's completely blocked off there. And then we can put a doorway on the corner here. That doesn't have to be the wall. We're not necessarily considering this to be definitely a wall. It's just optionally a wall. Not that one. I just want a sort of corner. Yes. Do we potentially rejoin whatever the side corridor is over there? Maybe not at this point. Dead end to a room. Do we want dead ends? Yeah. In this case we do. Okay. So we've got to weld all that up. Clear my build planner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Everything back, take what I need. Okay, next corridor piece sorted. So coming in from the inside, let's have a look. Let's just walk the corridor. So coming in from here, medical room there. Windows are a bit of a giveaway. Room that you shouldn't know about. Windows, door to that room. Door to that room. They're giving a bit of room for it to be potentially a bit wider. I haven't decided what's going to go in this room yet. But yeah, this is dead end space here, and then the next corridor has to carry on past these rooms. So don't know how big these rooms are going to be yet. I haven't decided what's going in them. One of them should probably be the mess. So maybe all of this could be the mess actually. Go straight into the mess and go round to skip it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks wide. Bring these out one more, I think. Okay. Yeah, so sort of sideways thinking here. Changing our plan partway through. Rather than splitting this out to 2 rooms, we're going to make 1. Okay, that means I need just some straight corridors. Ideally one with a light, I think. No, we're going to keep with the window thing. I'm going to need to come back for more stuff. Okay. Just saving. Yeah, that's on the bar. Good. It's a bit zoomy on this one. Is it the side? Yep. Better. Right, so these come out round it. We could make it so you have to go through the mess to get to the back of the ship. I don't know if we want to do that necessarily. Doors. Let's see what kind of doors have we got to play with here. 3, right. If we even want a door on there. Could do that. Is this one of those opportunities for something a bit nicer? Nah. Lab door again, no, I said we're not going to really do that. Because you've got, you know, why would you have... Actually, no, maybe you could do that. For this room. I think it's probably a bit friendlier. Yeah, for this one. Lab door. These can go past. I think these 2 corridors here can go past. Don't know where to yet. Just get in. Weather's doing a thing and we have to just be aware that we might start taking damage. Right, so this will be the main sort of mess bit, the messy area. I think for this bit here we're going to need like vending machines, tables, a cargo access point. I think we can make that just look like a food hatch or something. It's going to need a bit of furnishing around here. So I think I need to definitely build these out a bit more. We're on interior blocks here though, so 7. Interior walls. Let's see.
Low.
Sci-fi interior wall. Get it the same way around as everything else. Get some interior plates down. Oh, actually. Well, I need energy anyway, so I have to come over here regardless. And I need to eat some food. Right. Seven. Oh, of course we reserve the right to go wider. I'm just going to stop there because I'm uncertain about a piece of that after that point. So I need at least one of these. Why can't I place that there? You need steel plate to build that. Weirdo. I'll leave that there for now. Right. So, gonna have to place some more of these in. Have we done all the ones on that side? Yes, we have. So we've gone... Are we even? Are we even at all? Well, I could actually do with going at least one wider. Just to line up with those cargo containers, really. That should really be a kind of a given. That was silly. Okay, so getting wider. Plenty of room to come down here, actually. Oh, don't freeze on me now. What's happened here? Taking a little bit of damage there. Steel plate. We're going to need steel plate. That should be enough steel plate. Ugh. Okay, I don't have to worry about closing the doors anymore. Yay. Right. That comes up to where there. I don't really want to push this much further, so that should be fine. Okay. Weld a couple of these up. Right, I'm going to weld all that up and then I will come back to you. Let's get more materials. Right, that's yeah, that's the whole floor area extended out now. I've left a couple of spots because these are spots where I've definitely got a cargo access port or conveyor area. We could also bring one off the main line down here, so I just need to sort of line up with this pipe here and that one here just to know where we can place more. Unfortunately, that's kind of, well, this is partly why I wanted to sort of open this space out in the middle and not have so much in the way of side room here, because if we want to use these two lines, they're awfully close. I mean, where we've done them there, I mean, they are awfully close to the wall, so they only have limited practical use. So we may decide to go out and do, like, we're going to do sort of side rooms over here. We've got these ports across them, so we can do more rooms. We'd have to sort of get creative with the floor, maybe raise the floor one level, because we are coming that high. So we could potentially have another deck above this, potentially. I mean, I think we're sort of set up to be one block high for all of this, and we've got 2 more blocks before we even start putting the outer hull on, and then same on that side there with the bridges. So we potentially have another room for what, one more deck. So one for the floor, and then one more high. If we use panels instead of interior blocks between these decks, we could have an extra one, but then we can't really put much on them. because the panel's going to have to take up a space somewhere. So I think we'll just go with a normal floor between here and there. So we're just going to get this laid out first, try and get as much of this sorted as we can, and then we can think about sort of stairs up to the next deck, how we're going to use this space maybe another time. But for the minute, I think this is alright. I mean, this is going to carry on this way. We have space for a corridor coming out this way. We've got space to do something with this space, potentially. This comes out down here, so this could potentially join on to whatever that is. I think that's the top of the staircase. So there's room to do something with that space. Not too much, because I don't want to get too close to the bridge, but it is something. Yeah, we're coming up in an hour now. So I believe this is a good spot to leave it. I'm going to put a table down here just so that I kind of know what this space is going to be for next time, because I might forget. Make it a big mess. I mean, we've got to assume like lots of people might want to eat here. Okay. Yeah. And then we've got room there for some sort of vendors and things to the sides there, and maybe in the middle and across here potentially have some roof or, you know, ceiling ornaments or something like that on there as well. Yeah, okay, good start for a mess anyway. Yeah, okay, I think this is a good spot to leave this. I'm gonna go inside, go to the medical room actually. Oh, now's eesh. Right, and then we're gonna go downstairs, get out of here. No, that's not the way down, that's the way down. Doors are shut. To our big funny staircase. This is going to give you a good idea of like the sort of scale of this ship. Elevator. That's an airlock for some reason. Okay. I'm going to have to put some exceptions on them. And this gate as well, because I don't want this trying to close on the elevator. We're going to try and do that. Yeah, that door is trying to close. Oh. That's a very bad thing. Okay, I guess we're going to fix that next time. We haven't got time this time. I should see it on the way up, so we're not going to have a weird problem. That's just really weird, that. Switch lock. Locked. Right. Fix that finally. Not part of the same grid. Won't work. Okay. We'll have to put that on here as well at some point soon, I think. Right, so yeah, that's where we're going to leave that. We've done a little bit of progress on the ship. It's not going to be as quick as before, because we were rushing to get to the birthday goal. We've got past that now, so we can take a bit more time on some detail on the ship as well. But we're going to be making big progress each time, even if it feels a bit slow. I'm going to sit down in my chair for a change, and I wish you a very fantastic week, and whatever else comes up between now and next time when I see you for another No Jetpack Survival. Bye for now.